On our last ride, we realized how quickly we could get lost if we weren't paying attention to the turns we were taking. And because I don't have an aftermarket gas tank yet with a larger capacity, that could be a real problem. You know, we really didn't want to end up pushing the bikes home. And so what I decided to do is get a GPS for our next trip. So I want to share what I was looking for in a GPS and what this Garmin 64S does for me. So first and foremost, I kind of wanted something cheap. I didn't want to spend too much money on a GPS. You know, I wasn't looking to put down $600, $700 on a GPS. Ultimately, it really doesn't do anything for me other than show me the way back out. So as I'm doing some shopping, I kind of stumbled across the Garmin 64. This kind of checked all the boxes for me. It was relatively cheap compared to some of the other ones. It came with good software. I can upload pretty much whatever map I want to on it. And yeah, it just seemed reliable from what everyone was saying. I actually got this one $80 off the original price, so it starts off at $300, and Cabela's at the time was selling it for $220, which made it cheaper than the base model, the regular 64. So it was kind of a no-brainer. I'd get this one. This one comes with a barometer and the electronic compass over the base model, so it's just an added bonus. It wasn't. I would have bought whichever was cheaper. The buttons. Someone mentioned that you'd want buttons if you had gloves, and given that I'd be riding, I'd probably be wearing gloves. So that kind of, that was an immediate benefit over the touchscreen. I haven't had a chance to test this yet. I got it in the mail the other day, but the antenna is certainly confidence-inspiring here. So the backside here is a clip. It's a little attachment here. There's like a rail system, and so you can hook up different accessories, pushing it down and pulling it up. I actually went to the local sports store and I found an attachment for it that allowed me to hook it up to my handlebars. It was $9.95 and essentially had a plastic piece like this one, and it came with zip ties to tie it to the handlebar. So this GPS doesn't come with any kind of battery. I know there is an aftermarket battery pack that's rechargeable for $25. It seems a little bit steep for me because the battery pack is just two batteries stuck together with a piece of plastic. And so I know that I can buy rechargeable batteries for a quarter of the price, and that actually have higher capacity, so I think I'll do that. You can't charge aftermarket non-Garmin batteries with this GPS because there's a button in here that is pushed down with the piece of plastic that holds together the two Garmin batteries. Someone recommended putting a little piece of plastic underneath the batteries that'll push down the button. I don't think I'll try that. I think I'll buy some Duracell rechargeable batteries along with the Duracell recharger. So one of the biggest questions that I had that I couldn't find an answer for was how good is the base map? In shopping around for this GPS, I found a lot of references to maps you could buy, and they ranged anywhere from $80 to $120. And I didn't want to spend that money on top of this GPS, and especially not without knowing how good those maps were going to be. So what I want to do is I want to show you what the base map looks like. Here's an example city, and it's LaGrande, Oregon. And I don't know how well you can see that. It might be a little blurry, but the only roads that you'll see in this town here are this interstate and then some of the major highways leading through this town. You also have the Grand Ronde River here. That's not a whole lot of detail. I can zoom in and I can see the train tracks as well. But that's about all you get with this map. Granted, this is a smaller city. I don't know what the bigger ones are like. I haven't really looked into them, mostly because I don't care. To me, this was kind of this was kind of disappointing. I knew there had to be some open source maps out there because there's a generic file type that all these GPSs use. And so with that in mind, I started Googling for maps. I was looking for USGS Topo maps, and I couldn't really find anything until I stumbled on the website I'll link below. It has a variety of free maps. I don't know how useful most of those are for various purposes. But the two I downloaded were the Topo maps for Washington and Idaho, and this is what you're looking at right now. It's got quite a few little random streets and trails. I've been out to some of these areas, and so I know that this is a fairly detailed map. It's got some streams. It's got numbers for some of the roads. For those that it doesn't, it just says road. It says unpaved road, so it kind of lets you know what kind of road it is. It also has points of interest posted on here. It has some trails, some peaks. I'm hoping this will help me get around. It'll definitely help me trace my steps back to get out of where I got myself into.